Welcome to The Gorgeous Effect, the podcast that's about to rock your marketing world. I'm Julie Chanel, and with my co-founder, Cathy Olson, we're the masterminds behind Funnel Gorgeous and FG Funnels. We're about to drop some serious tea on how to create funnels that not only look amazing, but actually convert into customers. We'll chat mouth-watering offers, copy, design, and give you an inside look of some of our best and worst funnels. No smoke and mirrors, just real strategies that work from two ladies who have been around the funnel block. So grab your coffee or something stronger, we won't judge, and get ready to unleash the gorgeous effect on your business. It's time to show the world what you've got. Let's do this. Hey everyone, it's Julie and Cathy. We are back with another episode of The Gorgeous Effect. I'm so happy it's 2025. Are you?
Yes.
I don't know. 2024, it was an amazing year for me, but I am ready. I love the new slate feeling. I just love it.
I know my daughter was like, I'm going to miss 2024. I'm like, what does a 10-year-old miss about 2024? Like, that makes no sense, but she's nostalgic and all the things. So I think there's some people who are just nostalgic no matter what happened. But I'm a future thinker. So I'm always excited for the future and things. And yeah, it is so dumb because it literally, there's no difference, but it's just at the same time, it's like, it gives yourself permission to maybe get rid of some things that you didn't like, or just it gives you that reflective moment to think about, like, okay, I don't have to stay the same way. I can actually choose to do things differently, right?
So we asked a question of our community and thought it was an interesting question. So we're going to pose it here today. And I want anyone who's listening to really think hard about the idea of assumptions and the things that we just assume are true or just the way it is. And these could be business assumptions that we make. It could be personal assumptions. I think about last year. Until last year, I just made an assumption that I am the type of person who doesn't like working out, right? And that was true for 43 years of my life, And so we make assumptions about everything all the time. And so the question that we posed was, what are you going to stop assuming is, quote, just the way it is about your business or yourself? And like you said, the new slate in 2025, it gives us permission to reevaluate the things that we're just assuming about ourselves and our business and our potential and put them down. And so I want to read, Ashley commented on this post, and I thought this was really an interesting comment. She said, I am going to stop assuming that I have to be the savior for other people's businesses in order to be valuable. I know my place and my role is only one piece of the puzzle, and I'm ready to stop assuming that my piece is so pivotal that I can't have boundaries around the support I offer. I thought that was really good because I think there's a lot of us who get burned out in business because we don't know where our responsibility starts and ends.
Yeah, it's hard too because it's kind of like scope creep, right? When people basically, like, this has always been a thing in the design world for sure, and I'm sure like even in any capacity when you're working with people, scope creep is basically just when people start to ask more of you, or even sometimes it's not even them asking, it's you giving. Sometimes it's you creeping on your own scope. Because there's a lot of times when a lot of things are interconnected, and so you see your clients and you're like, okay, I could actually help you with this or whatever. But I think that you just kind of need to think about it in terms of, how are you best serving? Because I think you can go over your own boundaries and actually start not serving them well. So just because they're asking you something of, like, hey, can you help me with this, doesn't mean that you're the best person to do it. And so sometimes we kind of do a crappy job when we get out of our scope. And then it also hurts our other clients, right? Because now we have less time for them. So, I mean, it's kind of that way in all the things. And so if you redefine what it means to serve someone, and you kind of say, okay, I can really serve someone really well in this container. And this is even maybe if we're looking at our offers and saying, hey, maybe I should stop doing these things because I'm not doing such a good job at it anymore. And actually just redefining, how can I help and serve someone really well in a well-boundaried service or offer or something like that.
Yeah. Eliza wrote that she was going to stop assuming that there aren't enough women who need her. And she said, I've spent so much time clinging to every possible client, afraid of turning anyone away, instead of just trusting that the right clients, the ones who truly align with my style, will find me. I love this because I think that when we're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make enough money, the the tendency to just accept everything that comes your way or to shape shift to be able to handle all the different types of clients really it takes up so much mental bandwidth and it does inadvertently make it harder for the people who are the right fit to find you because you're constantly shape shifting. And so it's hard to do when you're feeling like stressed about clients or customers, but it's reframing your mind that says the more authentically myself, the more I dial in my style, the more I dial in my avatar, my customer, and the stronger my voice gets about who I am and who I serve, the more the right people are going to come find me. And that is absolutely not going to happen if you're just clinging to everyone and refusing to turn anyone away.
Yeah, which it's funny too, because I'm like, wow, that there's also like another side of that of like, when do you do something outside your comfort zone and take on a challenge that's not you're not necessarily your ideal like because I like it's interesting because it's like when does that stop, right? Like when do you stay in your box and when do you say, okay, well this isn't really usually who I help, or like maybe this project's a little big for me but I'm going to take it on anyways. There's definitely like an intuition I think that comes in there. I think if someone's not a good fit and you're just kind of taking it out of scarcity mindset. And then the difference between that and like, okay, this is not who I usually help and it's a little bit bigger and I'm not actually sure if I can like totally do it, but it's exciting and I'm feeling good about it. Like I right? Do you think that it's kind of an intuition of like when to go outside of your ideal client comfort zone?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because there are times when there's a it's almost like a an aspirational challenge
Yeah.
versus a desperation of I can't lose this person because
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
aspiration
broke.
versus desperation. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a
I
very
think
good
that's the
good way to put
nuance we're
it.
looking for here.
And don't tell yourself that it is aspirational when you really are being just desperate.
Yeah, yeah, your body knows. Like your body
Yeah.
really does know.
Yeah.
Victoria wrote a great one. She said, I'm going to stop assuming that overthinking is some kind of genius level strategy. It's just fear in a fancy outfit. I thought that was,
That's
I thought that was
amazing.
great. I think for overthinkers, like especially the anxious type, which I'm raising all my hands and toes because I'm very anxious. Overthinking really is it's almost like a compulsion. It's a feeling, it's like it helps you feel safe. Like if I just think about this one more time, I'm gonna find some sort of like a little rabbit trail or a little nuance that I missed, and that's gonna keep me safe when I finally post on social media or launch this offer or put myself out there in this sort of way. But overthinking is addictive and it's compulsive. And I watch people who get stuck in this cycle and you have to come to a realization that the actual like neurological process of overthinking is like kind of a coping mechanism, a dysfunction. And once you can witness yourself doing it, then you have a chance to break out of it. But as long as you think it's the thing that's making you successful, it's very, very hard to break out of.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of value getting something done almost as much as you do thinking through things and being complete, right? There's like a level where it tips over. And I don't honestly, I can't say what it is. I don't know. I don't know when I am like magically like I'm done thinking about this and now I move. I can't tell you anyone that. But I do know, and this is funny because this is where like my Enneagram 4 meets my 3. Is like my 4 will just be like, let's just make this perfect and the most amazing thing that's ever been created. And no one else has ever made this something this amazing to like, okay, cool. Now let's go now. Like it's time to go now. It's almost like I have like this devil and angel on my shoulder of like, like the angel's like, okay, let's move now. Like, let's like do something. So I don't know that I know what to tell people when to switch that over, but there's just a point, there's just a tipping point when you're like, okay, I've thought as much as I could think. My thinker is done. My think has thought, and now it's time to move. And so I don't know. Do you have any advice on when to stop thinking? Because it is a protective mechanism, and I do appreciate how well you and I think through things, overthink. But at one point we move. So when is that tip? Do you just
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would argue that I don't think we overthink. Uh, I definitely overthink personally in certain areas of my life. There's no doubt. But when it comes to like what we do at Funnel Gorgeous, I really don't think we overthink. And I'm trying to figure out what's the like tipping point or the
Yeah, like when is
threshold that's
it
like,
done? When's it good enough? Because it's never
yeah.
perfect. I want to say that for sure. Like even though I'm sure we could make things perfect, we don't wait for perfect. We move faster than perfect, but like when do you know when it's good enough? Like when does it feel good?
Well, I think if you've done, well, this is hard because I could say, okay, if you've done your due diligence, right? And an overthinker would be like, the due
Yeah.
diligence is never done.
I think
So I
it's
think when
trust.
you're
Okay, let's look at it from this perspective. I think it's trusting yourself enough to know when it's ready because I think that's what when when we work with students in Launch Gorgeous that overthink, we eventually have to kind of like say, okay, this is it. Let's move on. And so like there's almost like a trust. It's
But
like you
there's an
have to
external, I
yeah.
think what you're picking up on though is I think that if you are truly an overthinker, you kind of need a third party, a coach, a mentor
Mhm.
to tell you this is enough until you learn that intuition on your own. Because
Yep.
I think overthinkers truly like they don't like the process of overthinking. It's stressful and tiring. So they aren't doing it because they like it. They're doing it because they think it's not ready, right? And so it's like
Mm.
it's almost like you do have to kind of put a third person in the mix to be like, okay, we're going to go with my timeline of when it's ready so that they can get used to what it feels like to move even when your brain is still spinning. And I'm actually thinking of a client right now who she definitely overthinks and I could tell this pattern, and it's not that she's overthinking just because she wants to overthink. She's miserable about it. She hates this part of her, but she truly doesn't think it's ready or that it's good enough. And so I said, I need to actually come in and I need to like do this for you for a little while so you can see what it feels like to put something out there despite the spinning brain. And so we started doing that to try to help train her to be like, this is your brain is playing tricks on you. The brain is
Yeah.
really unreliable. I'm coming to find out.
No, I think that's really cool because I think you're right. I think it's through practice and know
Yeah.
and just kind of knowing like so like yeah, maybe it's like the training wheels of having your peers to talk to or a coach or going through a program or something like that to kind of see like when is good enough and kind of like when are you finished. I mean with anything creative, right? You're writing copy, when is it finished? When you're designing something, when is it finished? When you're doing an offer, when do you have all the things in there, right? Like there's always a stopping point when you need to know. And so I really like that idea of like just practicing. You just have to practice to know when it's done. Or there's
Mhm.
a client breathing down your neck and that has to be done. There's always
Yeah.
that
Well,
too.
sometimes,
But yeah, I think that's cool. It's just like practicing when something is complete and not, kind of overthinking. But it is cool to know that other people overthink and it's very common, and that a lot of people struggle with this and it's just kind of one of those things.
yeah. So that's the question for the week is what are you going to stop assuming is just the way it is about your business or yourself? Because I think it's a great reframe. And I am I think I'm going to stop assuming that failure is avoidable if you just do the right steps. Like I think it's kind of related to overthinking, but I think I have an assumption that I can avoid failure if I just like stay the course and I like use all the right tools and I use all the right decision making, frameworks and stuff, and I'll avoid failure. And I think that's such a bad assumption. And I was reading a post, I can't remember where, but it's kind of this idea that failure is a better teacher than success is. And oh, I know who it was. It was Taylor. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So he says if if you're born and you wish to become great, right? So like if you want to become wise, the journey to become wise means that you're going to be put in impossible decisions with impossible choices, and then you're going to make the wrong choices, and that's how you're going to learn wisdom, right? If you want to be great at timing, you're going to watch a great season end and you're going to watch a hard season carry on for too long. If you want to learn forgiveness, you're going to experience betrayal. If you want to be perseverant, you're going to be exhausted, right? It's like the thing that we want is usually found in the failure of trying to acquire it, which is like super annoying, but it's true. And so if you don't embrace failure, then you never actually get the prize that you're looking for. So that's what I'm going to stop assuming, is that failure is avoidable, and that instead I'm going to say that failure is exactly what I am pursuing. Like when you pursue success, in order to get successful, you're going to have to it's going to have to come with failure at the same time. And so that's going to be my switch.
Yeah, it's almost like, you really don't know what happiness is until you feel sadness, or you don't know what darkness is until you feel light, or, all the things. And so it's like you need to know the edges of all of it and what it looks like, which
Yeah.
actually you made me realize it kind of I have actually haven't had any time really at all to kind of reflect on anything. I just realized, like, some people were asking me what's my word of the year. Like I have not had even like a moment to think. So this is my first time thinking about this. So this is very off the cuff. Because I haven't like decided what I'm gonna do this year or anything, or what I want differently. But um I think that from all the year, just gosh, from the last like 5 crazy freaking years, I want it to go in the middle, right? Like I want, it's like kind of what you said. I'm just gonna go off of what you said. Like I've seen the highs, I've seen the lows, and I just want it to be like, I want it to stabilize kind of in the middle, and just kind of see like what, like, not you almost like being happy with less, or like pulling back. And it's not that I'm saying, I want the business to do less, or like the whatever. I just want to be, I want that like level of contentment in the middle.
Mm.
And so, right. So it's like, I've seen what it's like for, like to buy all these things and do all these things and win all these awards and like whatever. And I've also seen like, moments of desperation, and, things are hard and we're failing, things aren't working and things are hard. But like, I just want it to be like in that middle zone, like the Goldilocks zone,
Yeah.
of like, not a huge team, not a little team, not a big year, not a little year, like not a
The
like,
radical middle.
yeah, like work, work every minute, or do nothing, like just like something in the middle, and just kind of this like good enough zone of Goldilocks. Like that would be, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a
Yeah.
failure year, and it's not like a banner year, but it's just being happy in the middle. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a something that I'm like, can I be happy in the middle? I guess that's what I'm reassuming, right? That there's
Yes.
happiness being found in like the floating along. And I don't know if that makes sense or not,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
that's what I'm
It
deciding.
totally does make sense. And I think, you know,
Homeostasis, I guess, right?
yeah, it requires a new, I think, set of glasses to like have gratitude on the things that are happening right now, right here and right
Mm,
now. So like it's a very like meditative sort of practice. Like, so for example, right now, you and I are recording a podcast episode, and I could look around and I could be like, man, the sun is shining. I have a hot cup of tea next to me. I'm talking to my business partner and best friend about like life, and like the moment that I start to draw in around my present moment, and then I start to witness it, then I start to feel a sense of gratitude like, wow, how blessed am I to be able to do this right here, right now? And so I think that practice helps you pull in all of the gems of the present, and then makes it easier to kind of enjoy the journey. It's not that you don't set goals or anything like that, but it makes it easier to find all of the joy in the small things that you do, and then feel a sense of accomplishment. And ironically, I think that perspective makes you happier, and then less tied to outcomes, right? Like less tied to, oh, did I hit my goal? And so the happier you get, usually the more productive you get. And then the irony is you end up probably doing better than what you thought
right.
because of the shift in your thinking.
Yeah, I mean, especially with creativity. Like I
Mhm.
cannot, I don't know about anybody else, but under deadlines and under pressure, like that is the most that's the hardest for me to be in the zone of all of all of
Yeah.
the things. Like even I would even say, but I guess if we're looking at it from black and white or extremes, it's also like hard the other way. When I have all the time in the world and I have like no deadlines, that's really hard for me to be creative too. It's like it's really this like middle, like there's a little bit of
Yep.
a deadline. I do have to move my butt. Or maybe I've been procrastinating because I used to do this in college all the time. I would wait till the last minute, but at the same time, I can't be under stress. Like, oh my gosh, if I mess this up, everything's gonna fall, right? So there's this
Yeah.
like little middle zone of like a little bit of a constraint, but like not too constrained. That like that's when we do our
Yes,
best work.
exactly.
That's when we do our best work, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we encourage you to do that. And thanks so much for listening. We're excited to have a whole year of podcast episodes coming. We said we were going to start in 2024. Actually, I think we probably said we were going to start in 2023, but we got the podcast out the door and now we're like in the zone. So
Yeah.
we're excited for the year ahead. And as always, if you like what you hear, please tag us on Facebook or Instagram at Funnel Gorgeous. We love to hear feedback, and reviews are welcome as well. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We're just getting started with this podcast, and we're so excited to have you on this journey with us. If you found value in today's episode, we'd be over the moon if you'd consider subscribing. It's like a virtual high five that keeps us going. And hey, if you're feeling extra gorgeous, leaving a review would mean the world to us. Your words not only make our day, but it also helps other amazing folks just like you find our show through your review. Lastly, if you know someone who could use a little sales pep talk, why not spread the love? Share this episode and let's grow this gorgeous community together.